All right, let's take a look at Donald Trump's latest interview on Fox News with Sean Hannity. This interview was about 40 minutes long, I think, and the majority of the front of the interview was about the lawsuit in New York State. And what I want to look at is the sections towards the end of the interview regarding the search of Mar-a-Lago. Let's take a look at this first clip.
But they're threatening to prosecute you. What is the difference between what you're describing with they found apparently 101 classified documents in the boxes that they found. They found 11,000 pages that weren't classified.
But John, you don't know what they found, because they wouldn't let any representative. They had our lawyers. It was 100 degrees out. They had our lawyers standing outside, not even allowing them into a building where they had air conditioning. It's a big complex. And you had a lot of people here. I don't know how many, but you had.
Donald's back to the sniffing. It's really hard to listen to this guy. He just immediately, he can start with an idea for one sentence, and then he's immediately just into word salad mode. It's really hard to listen to this for 40 minutes.
A lot of people, they wouldn't let anyone inside. And, you know, if you look at NARA and if you look at the FBI over the last 10, 15 years, and if you look at all of the things at the Justice Department, what's taken place, when you look at what took...
This trick of Donnie's is super irritating. The "if you take a look at" ploy, which is he apparently doesn't need to explain anything that we're taking a look at. He just drops catchphrases, and it's implicit in the use of those words. Oh, he means the thing. What are we taking a look at, Donnie? What is it you're talking about?
Place with the Russia hoax. Sean, they spied on my campaign. What could be worse? Could you imagine, take Obama, if we spied on his campaign?
Take Obama.
Over him. The problem that you have is they go into rooms, they won't let anybody near them. They wouldn't even let them in the same building. Did they drop anything into those piles? Or did they do it later? There's no chain of custody here with them.
Wouldn't that be on videotape potentially?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're in a room.
Okay, so let me...
This is Donald Trump again insinuating that the FBI planted some type of evidence. Everybody should be mindful of the fact his representatives in court have made no such claim. He's free to talk this kind of garbage and have people believe it. You know, this is a great trick of his. If you just keep saying stuff, people believe it. They're making no such assertion in court because they know it didn't happen.
I ask you this question, because I think this is the next logical question, because the President of the United States, you, unlike, say, Hillary Clinton in her case,
right,
a president has the power to declassify.
Correct.
Okay. You had said on Truth Social a number of times you did declassify.
I did declassify, yes.
Okay. Is there a process? What was your process to declassify?
There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. You know, there's different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the President of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it. And there doesn't have to be a process. There can be a process, but there doesn't have to be. You're the president. You make that decision. So when you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything. Now, I declassified things, and we were having a lot of problems with NARA. You know, NARA...
All right, stop there. Aside from the frightening idea of I declassified everything, the argument he just built there is by the fact that the documents were transported from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, it is implicit in that movement that they are declassified. That's the argument that he's making. We don't need to get into the argument of, you know, what actual processes does one have to go through to declassify a document, which there are many varied opinions. The argument that he's making is by merely thinking about it and transporting those documents, because he had that thought in his mind, they have now become declassified. And obviously he didn't think of this until after the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, because, you know, as you'll recall, at the time, Donald Trump had checked out from being president months before this. The only thing he had been thinking about at that time was how not to look like a loser or what other things he could do to try to get himself back in power. That's what he was thinking about at that time. Of course, that's speculation on my point, but I think the facts speak for themselves. The guy had no interest in being president at that time. The argument that he's making is by mere fact of those documents being transported, and that at a later time this idea popped into his head, merely thinking about it made the transportation was the moment that created them becoming declassified documents.
It's a radical left group of people running that thing. And when you send documents over there, I would say there's a very good chance that a lot of those documents.
That is just so stupid. NARA is a radical left group of people. It's just utter garbage. NARA doesn't care who is running the government. They could not care less.
Documents will never be seen again. There's also a lot of speculation because of what they did, the severity of the FBI coming and raiding Mar-a-Lago. Were they looking for the Hillary Clinton emails that were deleted, but they are around someplace? Were they looking for the spying on Trump's?
You're not saying you had it.
No, they may be saying, they may have thought that it was in there.
Okay.
And a lot of people said the only thing that would give the kind of severity that they showed by actually...
Okay, here we go with Donnie throwing something out there again. I mean, that's kind of crazy. He's basically saying that it could have been this other thought inside my head that caused the FBI to seek a search warrant. The guy exemplifies a true sociopath. You know, that he believes that the world operates basically according to his thoughts and his desires. Just creepy. You know, and of course, this is, again, something that his representation in court is not offering in any way whatsoever. It's just crazy.
Coming in and raiding with many, many people is the Hillary Clinton deal, the Russia stuff, or, I mean, there are a number of things. The spying on Trump's campaign. So they spied on my campaign. So why did they come in and do that? Especially since we were having such great conversations, John.
All right, so let me go. You mentioned Russia a number of times.
Now he's tossing out there some other reasons for why the FBI might have sought a search warrant. The reasons for the search warrant are written in the search warrant. This Donald Trump is very hard to listen to. I hope you had better luck dealing with this than I did.